You know, we're in the era of women degrading men. It's just part and parcel of where we are in today's society. It's quite acceptable for women to criticize a man's D-size, how broke he is, how fat he is, how lame he is, and all the other host of derogatory terms women can use with men. However, the second a man does it, there's a problem. He's canceled. So we are living in these times when it comes to men. But one thing that is very apparent is that a lot of these female podcasts that you're now seeing out there, a lot of them are pretty boring. And a lot of them have literally just turned to debauchery and sexuality to try to bring in views. The one that I saw last week with the actress who I actually enjoy, I love her in that new movie, The Old Guard. And I watched her here in this last interview. Charlize Theron, is that her? I'm sure I'm butchering her name, but she was on this podcast. Let me play a little bit of it here.
Mother Alex Cooper with Call Her Daddy.
Charlize Theron, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to be meeting you.
The same here.
Cheers to It's Happy Hour.
Somewhere in the world.
Somewhere in the world, it's happy hour. We're cheersing. We've got a little vodka, and we're going to have a great conversation today. You're in your cozies.
Yeah, I apologize if I was supposed to get dressed up.
No. I'm usually in my cozies, and I have a
great.
meeting after this. I would usually be wearing exactly what you're wearing. So this is perfect.
You look great.
You look like me today, and I maybe look like you in another life. Okay, in doing research for this interview, I realized we have a couple things in common. And maybe we'll find out more today. But one of them being, we're notoriously known for saying the word fuck.
Yes. That's why I love your show. Why I love your show for many ways. I just love you're very authentic. And I love your use of the word because, if somebody uses it that much, it has to feel like it's coming from a real place. And yours feels very grounded.
I haven't heard you say it yet, but I know it's going to come out today. But I'm like, I've heard that you say it all the time.
Yeah.
I remember reading it said, Hollywood Reporter profile said that you said fuck 154 times in 3 hours in an interview.
They'd have to fact check that. I don't think that's true. There's no way.
I was like, she's an icon.
Humanly possible.
Have you ever said it in a really inappropriate setting where people were like, Charlize, what the fuck are you doing?
Listen, I have definitely, I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting the right context around it. I swear in front of my kids.
And you just sort of say to yourself, at some point, where is the sophistication? Where is the ladylike behavior in today's modern Western woman? Where has it gone? Have we reached that point where women feel like I could just do any freaking thing I want and no one should even dare judge me for it? Because she went on to say this in the same interview. This is the one that put the podcast on the map, so to speak.
I'm sounding very cocky here, but I think it's because I have found this freedom in my 40s where I'm like, oh my God. So I just want to say this in perspective. I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently a 26-year-old and it was really amazing. Yes. And I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
So she's 49 years old, 50-year-old woman, 2 kids. And she's boasting about the fact that she just effed a 26-year-old, a boy half her age. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. But what we're seeing is just there's no more sophistication. I think as soon as these ladies reach a certain age and they've realized that even though she's a gorgeous woman, she's back out on the street getting pounded by men. And they really think it's a flex. They really do. Not realizing that any woman can open their legs. Now, the 26-year-old man, he's the one that freaking out there telling guys, hey, man, yeah, this actress, that beautiful actress, yeah, I pound that. And she's out here trying to cope with it. It blows my mind. Guys, subscribe. Guys, like this video on the way in. We're going to examine another podcast because I want to show you a trend. I want to show you a trend with older women, and I want to show you the pits at which most female podcasts have literally just dove into. because it just seems to be getting worse and worse. More and more male podcasters are coming up. A lot of them are dealing with more serious subjects. I would love to see a lot more female podcasts really try to teach women how to be good women in order to find success with men. Finding success from the opposite sex is essentially what we should all be trying to accomplish. But one side seems to be going down this really dark hole where it's making it literally impossible to find a good relationship because the men who they want don't find this particular content desirable from any woman. No man wants to be out there going, oh, yeah, I'm going out with this woman, a really nice actress. Oh, the one that said that she got pounded by a 26-year-old last week? Oh, yeah. Oh, my friends, subscribe. Let's get into this conversation. Now, these are two black women on a different podcast having a conversation. And I wanted to just show you that it's not just black channels, it's white channels as well that are having the same problem, man.
How many hours? 12 hours a day?
Well, that would be time that I would use having sex. But guess where America ranks in penis size? No, I can't be your mother and your lover. Because if I'm your mom and I'm doing motherly things for you, I'm not going to be as freaky because that's weird.
Yeah.
Put it on, girl. Let me see it. Put it on, girl. Let me see it.
Hey, everybody. We are back with another episode of Accidentally Informed.
Because we can't guarantee that you're going to learn something, but you might.
You might, right?
You might.
It's been fun lately, hasn't it?
I know. I've had so much fun with you. We had so many things going on.
I love your reactions. Like, they're really authentic and appalled sometimes, appalling.
Well, I always ask Santa for a big sister, and now I'm rethinking.
You want to send me back up the chimney? Oh, by the way, I'm Claudia Jordan. This is my amazing co-host and friend and little sis, Erica Cobb.
Hello.
You don't have to make waves with disgusting content, talking about a man's penis size. Imagine if two men just sat around talking about how big a woman punani was, or how it smelled, or, it just wouldn't ring home to you, would it? But women just feel quite comfortable talking about a man's anatomy that he can't do anything about. I mean, instead of talking about how big a man's penis is, you all should have those conversations of, yeah, you know what? I need to keep my punani nice and tight so I don't have a problem with men who have average sized penises. You ever thought about that? Because this freaking boat rocks both ways, man. The reason why you find most men small is because you got a little bit too much experience relaxing that hole through a hell of a lot of sex. Most women, punanis have been beaten out so much and so often, it's just desensitized. It just relaxes. But men don't talk about that. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to highlight a problem. But imagine if a bunch of men just got around and just kept talking about how small you are and how many women we pound per night. Men don't do that.
We're talking about relationships. And this is going to be a shorter episode because it's the holidays. You're busy arguing with your family, pretending you like your mother-in-law, and you actually want to spend time with your annoying kids and all that. No, I'm just kidding. But, we don't want to take up a bunch of your time. So just a little taste so you don't miss us. Mm-hmm. You don't have withdrawal. There was a really interesting video that was going around social media, and I live on social media.
Yes, you do.
It's because I don't have a man right now.
It's like, how many hours? 12 hours a day?
Well, that would be time that I would use having sex. But now I'm just like watching videos on Instagram.
All right.
Not the whole
same.
Not the whole 12 hours, but some of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a video I want you to take a look at, and I want to see what you think about this.
Okay.
There's a viral video going around of American men and Russian men being asked if they would provide for their wives. Every single American man said no. They said they wanted to go 50-50. One even said, she's an adult, she can provide for herself. They all mocked the idea of providing for their wives. Every single Russian man said yes. They were dumbfounded at the question, actually. One said, it's my wife, of course. They weren't like, well, it's 50-50. What she bring it to the table? She can get a job. No, they recognize the value and privilege of just having a woman in their lives. We hear a lot of complaints from American men about modern women and how they aren't feminine, but they're not even functioning as providers and protectors. They want women to be their roommates who pay half the bills, provide a maid service for their dusty apartment, and are their bedroom buddy. When these men try to go find wives overseas, the women are always like, I'm not coming back to help you pay bills and lay down with you. Are you crazy? See, these men want women to be feminine, but they have her out in her masculine all day doing more of the heavy lifting and providing than they do. There's no benefit to you, sweetie.
And that is actually Christian Walker. Do you know who that is?
I do. That's Herschel Walker's son?
Herschel Walker, that was just tapped to be ambassador to the Bahamas, because we need that.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very difficult, negotiations going on with the Bahamas.
Okay.
Lots of, anyways, but his message, what he's saying, what do you think about it?
I agree. Yeah, I do agree. And here's the thing. When we talk about 50-50, people always think like, if I make $10 and you make $10 and we're both putting in $5 type thing. I don't see 50-50 as being monetary. I see 50-50 as being sweat equity, labor equity, child rearing equity. And I think that in America, there is a sense that it is very monetary. If our rent is $1,000, then we're each paying $500. And I just don't see that fitting with the current landscape that we have in this country. My husband is Canadian. He has a different type of idea of what it means to have a 50-50 household. So I don't equally share monetary responsibilities, but I definitely am in a position to make sure that his life is easier so that he can do what he needs to do for the two of us.
You hear how a married woman thinks? That's how married women think, because that is the proper way to think. It's amazing how the people who complain about 50-50 are the single people. The single people just have no clue what 50-50 means. Most single people have no idea how to work with another human being. Remember, I always said there is sexual marketplace value and there's relationship skills. Relationship market value. These two things have to be separated when it comes to relationships and how you pick a partner. Most people these days, especially women, are great with her sexual marketplace value. Whether you're old or young, you're going to get sex. But usually, she is crap at relationships. Therefore, her relationship market value, little to none. Because most women do not operate in a space of relationship mindset. They are always in the sexual marketplace mindset. The only thing that they have experience in is situationships, hookups, booty calls, sneaky links, and all of these are the sexual terms. But relationships, they have no idea how that works. But yet they keep criticizing 50-50. This married woman is right. It's never 50-50 just in money alone, because one party is going to out-earn the other. But one characteristic and one commodity that most people fail to recognize, even though it is the most important thing that we all possess as human beings, the one thing we can't get back, the one thing that is priceless, and that is time. So if my wife can afford me the time to do something else, even though she doesn't contribute the money into the relationship, then that is invaluable to me. If I can go and pick up the kids or take the kids here or there, if I can do a particular job while she's doing something else, she now has time. I don't have to give her money, but I gave her time. That's what a lot of people do not take into consideration when it comes to relationships. We're both giving money and time. Time is priceless and cannot be taken back. And you cannot make more of it. The most priceless thing. That's where a lot of single mothers go wrong when they kick their men out of the house, not realizing the 10% of the time that the man is there providing for her child is priceless when she don't have any, because the man isn't contributing enough money, but he's there with the child to look after the child when she can go off and do something else. That 10% is priceless. Please note that. I want my single viewers to note the significance of just having a partner there to offer you back some time. Time is priceless. Because that's what most of us are complaining about. I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time. I don't have time. He don't give me money. He don't give me enough money. I just feel like I just don't get enough money. But does he give you time? Does he provide enough attention to the child? He is that partner that takes up the slack to take care of the child when you're not there.
Well, your husband's not broke. And these are broke men conversations.
Okay.
These are broke men conversations. What are you bringing to the table?
There's a single woman mentality right there. These men are broke. The men are not broke. They just can't provide enough money to make sure that the woman is 100% provided for. This is what broke women and single women try to convince men of. Let me shame them enough to think that they should just bust their ass to give me 100% of the money I need to be happy, not realizing that the time is much more important.
What are you going to give me? I want to live in my soft life. I want to be the princess. What are you doing for me? Why don't you court me? Why don't you open my door? Bitch, what size tampon do you use? Because at this point, it's giving, are you the woman in the relationship? I'm sorry, but this really irritates me when I hear this because...
You see, this is the shaming tactics that a lot of these podcasters have on right now. This is another way of telling men that they're inadequate. And really, most women are broker than men. Most women are barely treading water right now when it comes to finances. They're knee deep in bills and debt. So they need to shame a man, making him feel that he's inadequate so that he can try to overcompensate and take care of some of her problems. Gentlemen, don't fall for it. Don't fall for that.
I miss the times where men were really proud. I saw another video online where a man said the biggest flex is getting your woman out of the workforce, making it where she can do stuff if she wants to, not a control thing, but like I'm making enough money that you don't have to work, but I do appreciate what you do, because we all understand that in most relationships, the woman is going to carry the majority of the load at home.
Yeah, I think a lot of this does come from a lack mindset as opposed to an abundance mindset. And the truth is, a lot of men come from households where their mother was the provider, where they're single parent households and the mother was the strong one. And they really anticipate that being the role of their wife and or partner or girlfriend, you know, when we're talking about heteronormative relationships. And that needs to change.
No, it doesn't. It don't need to change. For some reason, women think that once they enter into a relationship that her life just becomes incredibly easy. I don't understand where women get this mentality from. That the only reason that they can get with a man and provide sex, open her legs, and that should warrant the man taking care of her. Where in God's green earth have we ever understood that to be the social contract between the sexes? As long as I open my legs, I should be compensated for it. Why is that the norm? Why is it that every single modern woman these days think that prostitution is the way to go into a relationship? If he wants me, he got to pay. Women have always been the individuals who took care of the home because that role is best suited for her. The man is stronger physically, psychologically. He should be the one out there pounding the pavement and bringing in the bulk of the money. But there's another problem with this equation. We do not have an economy for the average man to be doing that alone. It's impossible for him to bring in that type of money to provide for a family. So the woman has to contribute. That is what feminism have done to the labor market. So every man out there needs his woman to contribute something financially as well. So now we get back to the point of, okay, if both of them are out there working, well, how much does a woman do in the household? Well, the woman still has to do a significant amount of work in the household. But the man also has to help. If they have kids, the man has to help even more. That's the reality of it. Everything now has to be shared, and the men still have to protect as well. But women don't realize that men's responsibility increases when she's around. They never think about that. Women always have this thing, I got to take care of him too. You're cooking. Instead of putting in one piece of chicken, like when you're alone, you put in 2 or you put in 3 pieces of chicken in the pot instead. It's not freaking hard. You know, when you were single, you had to clean. You had to wipe down the same counter that you have to wipe down when you're doing it with the man. The man has to go out there and fix up the house and clean the car and do whatever else has to be done when he's there, whether you're there or not. But if there's 2 cars, he has to do it on yours. So I don't understand why women are constantly making men feel that they have to do extra work. You know what is extra work? When you're on your own, you have to do it yourself. You know, some days when my wife don't have the energy, I can do the job. Some days I'm not feeling it, or both of us ain't feeling it. You know what we do? We have enough money to order in. Some jobs I can't do, handyman jobs, I call a guy to get it done. Because I realize that, hey, the amount of time it's going to take me to learn the job, then execute it, I could be doing something else that brings in more money. You see this cut I have under my eyebrow? That's me out there in the garage doing some DIY stuff yesterday. Because we moved, I was trying to put together some furniture. I was pulling at a piece of stuck wood, right? And I was pulling it, and all of a sudden it gave away, and boom, the edge of the board hit me under my eyebrow. Small little cut. And I was just thinking to myself, man, that's going to mess up my podcast right now. Imagine if it had hit me in my teeth, or, you know, it had bruised my face where I couldn't go on air. That means I couldn't produce my video for that week because I can't go on the air looking like crap, man. Okay? That's loss of income. But if you understood how cheap it is to hire a man to do all of these little jobs that's taking me hours to do, and it would have kept me safe enough to come here and do this job that's bringing me a lot more money, right? Imagine if I'd taken out an eye, you know, it would have been worse. Point is that we have to understand as men and as a couple where our money is being invested to do jobs that will bring us no return versus hiring that job out and taking care of the major jobs that's going to make us money. So sometimes it's to your advantage of just paying somebody to get it done. But I always have this thing, I got to make sure that my skills stay sharp enough just in case I reach a point where I need to do it myself. I still want to know how to do it. That's a man's thing.
I think a lot of women, it would behoove them as mothers to explain to their children, particularly their sons, that this isn't the ideal situation. This was a situation that I was forced into or circumstanced into, but you want something greater. To be quite honest, my husband, I say all the time, I did not marry a rich man. I married a financially responsible person. And because of that, we were able to come up with a system that worked for us. But let me be 100% honest. My husband is far more successful now than he was when we first started dating. And a big part of that was that I played a 50-50 role in ensuring that his life was so streamlined that all he had to concentrate on was going out and making bigger moves. Mm-hmm. And when it was my turn, he did the same for me.
See, that's the thing. This is what people don't understand about relationships. That is exactly why a partner is essential. Each are giving the other person time to create. Listen, if a man stays on his grind and keep investing in himself and in his business, eventually he's going to acquire more and more funds. If he's single, he's going to get to a point where he has a personal assistant. He don't need a wife. You can get a personal assistant right now remote. If my wife wasn't helping me with my business and building this channel, I have a remote personal assistant in the Philippines that could easily do my work. It was referred to me by another viewer of my channel who is also a content creator. He said, man, you can easily get a personal assistant in the Philippines. You want things done, even in your country, you can get it done over in Dubai. She will make sure everything is done. Phone calls, she could make phone calls from the Philippines. All of it is done over the internet. It costs you nothing more. Want your editing done, you want your shorts, you need new ideas, she could do all of that. You don't have to think about all of these things. Because our world is so digital, all of these things can be done remotely. My wife don't have to help me with any of that stuff. I don't need her. And I can pay a fraction of the cost to get that stuff done. So women think that they are so important to a man when he's building. You're not, lady. It's a choice men make to bring a woman into his life. Women do not build men. Men build themselves first and then women jump on board. In this particular case, this man realized that the woman that he has with him is worth building with.
Well, they say there's that whole thing that was trending on social media, like that black girl magic, like with the upgrading. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you made your man. I'm not saying that at all.
No, but I do think it played a part.
We know what? He's not here today, so we can talk more shit. Yeah. Like Erica said, I made him.
I played a part.
I made that.
No. Viv, my mother-in-law did an
he would
amazing
be nothing
job.
Without me.
No, she did an amazing job. But I'm going to be quite honest. Like, I do not see him on the same trajectory, the way that he has moved in the past 10 years since we've been together. Those are things that I definitely contributed to. And I don't think that he would say anything different.
I think men that have this 50-50 mentality thing when it's so like down the middle where I know, I mean, there was a conversation before with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union about like 50-50 with the bills. And he makes a lot more money than her. And people were like, wait, what? And I just feel like we're getting away from, I do like, listen, I know some men will probably say you can't have it both ways. Yes, I can, because why not?
What the hell does that mean? You can't have it both ways. Yes, I can, but why not? How the hell that makes sense? This is the problem. Women think that they should have everything and no one can dispute that. It's mind-blowing. I can be a hoe and I can get a good, high-quality man. No, you can't. I can pound these streets until I'm 35, 36 and then jump on any good man. No, you can't. I can put off having kids and then find a man at that 11th and a half hour and have a kid whenever I want. No, you can't. Ladies, you cannot have everything. You might get everything you want, but you definitely won't get it all at once. But we've been telling women, you can have whatever you want, girl. You could be whatever you want. You want to be a princess, a queen? You are a princess and a queen.
Like wanting the chivalry and wanting like somewhat traditional roles, but then also wanting equality in the workplace. I don't think that's a contradiction. I really don't.
It's not a contradiction. But again, when we have these conversations, we're looking at it from a 360 view.
It's a contradiction. Because no one asked the man, well, what is he getting from being chivalrous? Is that am I saying it right? Chivalrous. Chivalry, chivalrous. You know what I'm talking about. No one asked the man, what does he get from being good to another woman? Kind. Back in the day, men were happy to open doors, pull chairs, be there for a woman, make sure that she's well protected because he got quality women back. The quality of a woman these days is crap. Absolute crap. That's where the problem is. There is no return on a man's investment. His investment is being good to a woman. There is no return. And no one seemed to understand this simple point. He's getting nothing back.
If you've only had just any experience 180, it's very difficult to understand both sides. Like, I absolutely do expect my husband to open doors for me. I expect him to make sure that I'm walking on the inside of the sidewalk as away from the street. Those are things that I do have an expectation for. But when we're at home or when we're navigating our lives, whether it's finance or social, I am an equal partner and I have an equal voice. So I think you can have both of those things, but he also isn't a person who gets emasculated by the idea that I have an equal voice because he understands the value of my voice.
What is that man getting? Why is it a man should walk on the outside of the street? Back in the day, women wore garments that were not conducive to moving fast. That's why she walked on the inside of the street. Plus, men's reactionary timing was a lot better than most women. Second, if a woman walked on the outside of the street, she would probably get muddied from the wheels, on the wheels of the wagons and the dirt kicked up by the horses. It would mess up her clothes or dress. Men pretty much just took that on. He's the one that got dirty. So we have to understand where these things came from. But women took care of their men. Women took care of the home. Women took care of their kids. Women were women. Women contributed back. She didn't expect equality at home. She realized, that's my man. I do what he says. I follow his lead. Whatever he says goes. But now this woman, she wants to go home. She wants equality there. She wants inequality and benefits out on the street. But in the home, she also wants equality. You see what I'm talking about? And she thinks that that's normal, and that's the way it should be. Let me know what you guys think.
Don't you? Do you feel? I know I feel since like I can't blame all the ills of relationships in America on this last election, but I do feel like a really ugly side of misogyny has been revealed with this last election. Like, I feel like men are like going back to like pounding on their chests like cavemen about like, you know, your body, my choice, or, you know, they're like bragging or happy to kind of like suppress women. And I do feel like there is like a true gender war that's happening right now. And you see these videos popping up all over social media. I think they need to ban podcast equipment for men. No more. We have enough. I need no more of those. The market is flooded. But it's all these bad takes.
Yeah. See, they're getting worried now. It's not just Trump, my dear. The only reason you're feeling the Trump phenomenon was because he was pitted against a woman. If it was another male president, you would not have seen that big of a difference. But the Democrats, they were pushing the whole empowered woman and what is a woman, and a woman is queen, blah, blah, blah. Democrats pushed that agenda. And of course, women were just like, yeah, yes, go queen, go queen, go queen. We are queens, we are queens. Then on the other side, there was just men who were saying enough of this shit. Women just don't understand that if men did not want you to have rights, you wouldn't have any. If men revolt and men said no, what is it that women can do? Because they don't have any enforcement mechanism. Men have force. He can force his woman to do whatever. And if men collectively said, okay, enough is enough, that's it for women. Afghanistan is a primary example of this happening. But the simp men that America have created because of single mothers raising boys to men, they have a problem. Pretty much a massive majority of the men there are simps.
Is it working for them? Because I do know I've been hearing that people are having less sex now. Testosterone is also down. Mm-hmm. The sex drives are down. And I don't know, it just seems like the times of like masculine, manly, sexual, just dominant, protective men, I don't see that as much. Now, I did find this little, study online, right? So on top of these men wanting to go 50-50 with you, American men have their nerve, because I looked up the average global penis size. And in the counting of the nations, guess where America ranks in penis size?
Where?
59th. We come in 59th place. Oh, I lost my penis post. Hold on.
Not the penis.
59th place with an average length. What do you think average is?
4.
Oh, wow. Really, Erica?
I don't know.
5.35 inches, right?
Okay.
That is average. Now, the country with the biggest, would you like to guess?
I'm going to go with Italy.
Italy is number 19.
Okay.
Ecuador is number 1, 6.93 inches.
Wow.
So all these men that are like, I got 9 inches, lies. Knock it off. No one on here has 9 inches. That's like freak of nature.
It's folklore. Yeah.
Ecuador, Cameroon, Bolivia, Sudan, Haiti, Senegal, Gambia, Cuba, Netherlands, Zambia, and France, top 11. America is number 59. So on top of you lazy motherfuckers not want to pay bills, demanding your woman work, contribute half the money, half the bills, give this, give that, and pamper you, and do all your laundry, do all the other things that you really can't put a price tag on. You're not even bringing ample peni.
Sometimes I just feel like it's not even worth discussing these things because, like I said earlier in the show, we have reach here with the female podcasts. She talked about the male podcasts. Male podcasts are roaring ahead because the men now have voices. But this disgusting display is the only thing that's making these women listen to these women's podcasts. But it will get old. There's only so many shows you can talk about dick sizes. Because I can tell you after this one, more than likely I will never bloody feature your show again. Because why is it that you think that a man's worth is based on the size of his penis, but yet your worth is not based on the size of your punani? Because women have these massive toys at home, these horse-sized dildos that they're using, and then they're looking at normal men to equate to that. So after they go home and play with these massive toys, they expect the man to then fit snugly inside them. It's not happening, ladies. It's not going to happen. So instead of talking about how small men are, you need to talk about how big you've become. And that's the conversation that you should all have. Why are we so big over here in the West, where our men who we're supposed to be accommodating are not fitting us? That's the conversation that you should consider. My friend, I'm exhausted just listening to them. I'm going to cut it off here, man. Subscribe, book a session if you need any help with your YouTube channel, with anything in life, my friend. I'm here for you. I'm that uncle. I'm that father that you never had. All right? I'm that voice of reason, my friend. Okay? So, until tomorrow, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always, always ask an older man. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.